Okay, hey everybody, what's going on? I just wanted to touch base and put my input on the next gen console gaming stuff. We know we got some really cool consoles coming up. I've been a PC Xbox guy for like a lifer, but I appreciate all the gaming. I love what the PC market's doing. I love what the Xbox market's doing. Nintendo and PlayStation, obviously, we wouldn't have console gaming without Nintendo, so big ups to them, doing very well. My biggest thing though is like, this is the thing. Microsoft's got the most powerful console coming out next generation. We already know that. It's super fast, super reliable, efficient, powerful. Well, 4K and 8K gaming at 60, 120, even probably more likely, it's more power enough to do 240 frames a second, which Microsoft would probably sit there and wait to give you that little hidden thing, and whatnot. So the biggest thing is for me is that I'm getting the Series X. Not bashing PlayStation. What they did, they had a cool video, they had a cool live thing yesterday. But the biggest thing for me why I'm sticking with Microsoft, I know they're going to give us a way better console in the Xbox Series X than what's coming out for next generation. Because not only is it the most powerful console, as we all know, the Series X is not going to get beaten power. We already know that. But they have reliability, subscriptions and services over the PlayStation. They have the best online services over the PlayStation. They have the game streaming service, the AI and game stack over PlayStation, and they're obviously going to undercut PlayStation by $100. Because guess what? In case you forgot, it's Microsoft. They're $1.4+ trillion of revenue a quarter. Sony's barely breaking like maybe $50 a share, if that. And Sony's bleeding cash because they're pushing too much of their PlayStation stuff and not doing enough. What made them Sony is their TV surround sound systems. They couldn't even come out with another version of a Walkman or something like that, which was their best last innovation that they ever came out with. And like I said, I'm not bashing Sony here. These companies are great. Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. They're doing what they need to do for their own customers. That's great. But I get a kick out of people on YouTube who act like they're working at Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo. They know what's going on. None of you guys know what's going on, plain and simple. You guys don't work there. You guys can say you have insiders, feeds, whatever, reliable source. That's all bull crap. We all know it. The only people that know what's going on with their companies is Microsoft employees, Sony employees, and Nintendo employees. Let's be real with that. So there may be some leaks, all that, whatever, you know what I'm saying, but those corporations allow those things to happen every once in a while, and they save their big guns for later. So long story short, my biggest thing, like I said, the Xbox wins next generation for 5 reasons, period. 1, most powerful console. The Xbox Series X, we already saw in Digital Foundry, not only has it 12.155 teraflops of computational power, which it matters because that's your overall power of your system. Everybody in the PC sector knows that, plain and simple. And developers know that as well, obviously, and publishers. And gamers may not understand that, but gamers, this is what makes your system do what it does. So yeah, clearly the Xbox Series X is way more powerful than the PS5. We already knew that. But the Xbox Series X also has an additional overhead of 13 teraflops of computational power with the next-gen Navi ray tracing hardware. PS5 doesn't have that. So Microsoft, theoretically, with their developers, they have 25 teraflops of computational power developing massive, cool, first-party AAA or quadruple games for the Series X. And Phil Spencer noted last year at E3, there's over 2,000 plus new and exclusive IPs, plus returning ones in development. And we're going to have tons of cool indie games. Despite that, I love ID Xbox. Their indie games are awesome. Brings me back to my old school Nintendo days, so those are always fun to play. The big thing for me also is that the reliability. Microsoft has the best software security and services. I got Game Pass. I love it. Exclusives come right at launch to the Game Pass. There's tons of third-party support now, indie support, everything. I love it. I got Xbox Live. xCloud's going to be baked into it as well, which I use xCloud. It was phenomenal. I mean, obviously, it's put Google Stadia to bed already. You know what I mean? And then you got 10 million plus subscribers and growing with Xbox Game Pass, whereas PS Now only has 2 million. The Xbox Live service, over 100 million solid active users per month. PlayStation only has 41. million people. The xCloud is going to meet within a handful of years 2.5 billion devices, bringing people in the ecosystem. It's up. So say like Microsoft sells 120 million Series X consoles, right? That's cool. They're looking at that's a good thing, right? And to Sony's like 80 million they'll probably sell of the PS5. So let's be honest, the Series X will outsell the PS5 because the hardware is more powerful than the PS5. But that doesn't matter to Microsoft. I mean, it does. Don't get me wrong, it does. But where Microsoft's making the money well over Sony, period, is Microsoft, they probably going to break about $1 trillion with their softwares and services in the Xbox ecosystem now, especially that they got Game Pass coming to Samsung TVs and more likely Vizio, LG, all the top selling TVs. You pick up your Elite Series 2 controller or whatever, or your Xbox controller, mouse and keyboard, and you're rocking it, you know what I'm saying? GPU, AI, and stuff like that is all built in the cloud now. Microsoft's got Microsoft's got the best innovative clouds because it does everything it wants to do for businesses, gaming, consumers, whatever you want to talk about, you know. I like meaningful technology, things like that, you know. So yeah, Microsoft built like even like the HP chipset for the HoloLens for like medical field and stuff like that. So that's great. But the biggest thing for me is, in general, is I like the Xbox because it's just the hardware is promising. The hardware is more powerful than anything out there. The online service is solid, and the games are great. So that brings me to my second reason why. So the power of the Xbox Series X will win next generation. The streaming services, xCloud will win next generation. And then you got Xbox Live that will win next generation because it's the most reliable online service and people play on it. And if you guys didn't know, if you don't follow the stock market like I do, Sony did partner with Microsoft to borrow some of their Microsoft Azure servers. So whether you want to put a name on it or not, at the end of the day, Azure servers are part of Xbox Live. So Xbox Live is going to be powering the PS5 online. The fourth reason, Microsoft has tons of games. This generation, with the Xbox One generation, I still stuck it out, but yeah, we didn't have games. But now in the later years, we have tons of games. And I love playing on my Xbox One X, but I'll be trading that in after I pre-order my Xbox Series X in general anyway. And so they have tons of games coming. They have new studios, everything like that, and they're probably going to announce 3 major new studios that you guys probably wouldn't think that they'd buy. But is it possible that they can have CD Projekt Red, Techland Games, and ZeniMax under the umbrella? Hell yeah, because they're going to be able to. Microsoft's be able to give them the correct coin over anybody else to make the games that they want to make for the most powerful system, that being the Xbox Series X. The fifth reason that they win next generation as well is because of their price. Microsoft's going to say this almost $3,000 console or PC system that if you built it yourself out of pocket, it's going to cost you some coin. They're going to sell it to you for $400. Sony has to sell their system for $499, more than likely. That's why they showed that digital thing yesterday. Oh, you think Microsoft was already talking about that like months ago before Sony came out with the reveal yesterday. So if we see a lower end Xbox Series X, that's cool, whatever. I'm a premium guy. I'm buying the big dog running the yard. And that's the Xbox Series X. And so they're going to sell it to us for $399. Microsoft's going to make tons of console sales, well over the Xbox One and PS4, and obviously the Xbox Series X will outsell the PS5. The biggest thing for me though is Microsoft's got that checkbook. Can't say it enough. Microsoft's got the money. Microsoft has the money to do this because they can. So everybody's like, hey, I don't know if they can do this, whatever. No, they're going to do it. We're going to get our games looking phenomenally well. I can't wait to see the new Fable, the new Halo, the new Forza Motorsport, new State of Decay. I know we're going to get a Perfect Dark. I know we'll get Splinter Cell coming back home probably to its origins where it started at with the Xbox and PC platforms, because it just makes sense for Ubisoft to do that and put it on Game Pass, and that'll be another massive steal for them to do to make up for what they did with Ghost Recon. I love Ghost Recon, but man, Breakpoint, it was good. I still play it once in a while, but I only play really the update storyline. I wish they would fix the multiplayer more. But the next generation Ghost Recon would be that much better. They'll learn from the mistakes from Breakpoint and make the next game better. But I'm not bashing devs because it's a hard. You guys need to stop saying certain games like suck or whatever, because we may be unhappy with certain games. Not every game is for us, but there's a game for all of us. You know what I mean? So they work hard. They work from a year to like years on end with these games. So y'all need to stop bashing these developers, because if you can do better, why don't you start developing a game and see how hard it is? That's what I thought. So to all the developers out there, whether you're on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, my hats go off to you. You guys doing a great job, and I can't wait to see what you guys do on all platforms next generation, even exclusives for Microsoft and Sony. Well, Microsoft and Sony are going to have great exclusives. You're going to have two great consoles that are going to look and play way better than what we have right now. Period. Obviously. So I mean, like I said, this is not a hate thing or disrespectful thing to Sony, but I'm a big PC Xbox guy, and I'm happy that Microsoft has came back from their mistakes of the early part of Xbox One, and thank God for Phil Spencer taking care of the Xbox industry and bringing it back to life again, and just making the most powerful next generation console with the Xbox Series X, and making tons of games, services and stuff. So I'm a fan. I'm excited for next generation, and I think everybody should be too. Whether you're gaming on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. I'm excited to see what Nintendo does, because they don't have to really do power. They can just do whatever they want, because that's Nintendo. They just got it made. You know what I mean? People love Nintendo, no matter what walks of life you came from. I'm old school. I've been gaming since my parents had. I'm going on 40 years old in November. I've been gaming since my parents had the television. I mean, the Atari 2600, the first Nintendo, the first console they got for me and my brother was a Super Nintendo. I never owned a PlayStation, but I have friends who have both Xbox and PlayStation, because that's kind of like the norm now, obviously. But most people play online gaming and shooters and stuff like that on PC and Xbox, because you have the higher frame rate, you have the higher hardware, you have the higher resolutions, on those platforms. So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited, and I honestly, my predictions, and it wouldn't be too far from home. Microsoft starts pre-orders either this month or next month in July. I'm getting my pre-order in. It'll be $3.99, I'm guessing, and we'll get a September, October launch date, hands down. They work on this bad one for 3 years, and they're confident, and they know they got next generation in the bag. So yeah, I mean, the Xbox Series X will beat out the PS5. You know what I mean? So in my theory, the way that Microsoft's doing things and marketing stuff and the money that they got to do things, I say the Xbox wins the next generation. But as Phil Spencer said, it's really not about it's about the gamer, publishers, and developers first. So I love that it's going to be seamless now for crossplay, and I want to be able to play Madden 21 on my Xbox Series X and play my friends on PC and stuff. So that's going to be great. So other than that, yeah, that's all I have for today. But I definitely appreciate it. You guys watching this for a minute, and I'll try to do more streams and everything and whatnot.